Alright, so last we left off, we had ourselves a fun little Valentine's or Valentine Day event, but now it's time for us to get back into this shenanigans. Wow, all of my icons look so tiny now. Wow, is this what happens when you upgrade? I recently got myself a 4K monitor, so this is... I'm gonna have to get used to this a little. Alright, but we got ourselves some reasoning to listen to, so we can make a decision.
I lost my son to the calamity.
Oh no.
The three seed seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body.
There's Kanasena. I saw her.
Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood.
Yes.
Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs.
Is that Lay?
So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago.
Oh wow, 500
Working
years.
hand in hand, the Hure and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization. And soon, they were joined by folk of all races.
It's a nice little history
So
lesson.
nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the
What's
light
those
of the
two?
matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging
I know
behind
those
the
twins
elder
are
seed
pretty... Those twins are pretty important to the story, at least down the line.
The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hure and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us.
That's unfortunate.
Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood.
So they don't like fighting, but they aren't afraid to murk a bitch. Okay, that's the vibe that I'm
When
getting.
the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat.
Yay, yeah, applaud.
5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Carteneau.
Oh, so we're going into
It
the
would
calamity.
prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice.
She's a good leader.
Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity.
So now we're getting to the calamity.
The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, It is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
I find it funny how this is another one of those instances of find the main characters in the crowd, and I can clearly see 3, or maybe like 1 main character and 2 important background characters.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on that
high
bloody
roads without
XIV.
fear.
Okay, so we all hate the XIV. That
On
is
this
clear.
day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
Yes.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
You just do.
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood.
Huh.
Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen.
Yes.
Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you
What are we gonna
join
do?
hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard.
We're gonna fight.
And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children.
Woods will be down.
It's up to us to protect the
All
forest.
the elementals!
I mean, I've only heard to these guys' claims, but I feel like I agree with that more. Take care of home and make sure that's protected first before moving out to other places. So, yeah, no, that seems like a solid argument there.
If you'll permit me, Alfino,
Nice to meet you, Alfino.
and my sister, Alize, at your service.
Alize.
I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler.
Yeah, you came in on the same the wagon that I was in. If I
You
remember
might call
correctly.
us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
Okay. Those are some funky mechanics that you're wearing on you. The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have contend with 2 beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably more troublesome, being a naturally warlike disposition, and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof and change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Rama. Rama, that sounds about right. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood and thereby the power of the elementals will put an end to their woes, yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixtal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and their insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? Well, perhaps we will find out, if the Elder Seedseer's words fell on fertile ground. Their matching outfits are cute. I like that. Alright, so we got one done. Next we have to go to the Royal Promenade in Ul'dah. Right. Okay, I think I might be on the right track here. Let's see what Ul'dah has to offer, at least in the form of ideas. More voice acting. I don't have to read everything. Great.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
So this guy probably is just gonna be like, we gotta go and fight.
Roban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold.
Okay.
Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
I like this guy's fire. Oh, Alphino and
There,
Alize.
at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Ah, so that's what that symbolizes.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we.
Very prideful, aren't they?
Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Oh, so it's not true.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests.
Yes, that is a good thing to think. Salute
If the
those
fates
fallen.
were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death.
Yeah, so this guy's definitely gonna push for an all-out attack.
Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade.
I mean, these guys
Meanwhile,
do seem to have a
the
lot more
Guardians make
on their
mock of our
plates.
borders and to spoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act.
Well, I mean, I guess they have just about the same amount of stuff as Gridania's plate, at least. But they definitely seem to be more going towards, like, trying to
Whether
attack
trader
back.
or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you.
She looks like she can fucking take out a bitch with no problem.
Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity.
Oh, okay, so a lot less outwardly violent, but more like...
As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah.
Stock up.
As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
A lot more aggressive, but still focusing on building up self. Oh, did she just speak?
Your grace.
Raoban?
Oh, no, okay. That's kind of cute.
People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people.
I like this queen, or Sultana.
Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn!
I'm wondering why their sigil isn't a phoenix. They seem to kind of have that mentality.
Forsooth!
The time is now!
I fancy meeting you again.
Yes, Alphino and Alize. Alize don't seem to like me, though. The Eldans have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. No more! Thanks to me! Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Eldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless. Even assuming that they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Eldans send their forces to smite the Primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. Alize really doesn't like me. Alright, one last place, Limsa Lominsa. Here to attend the remembrance... Okay. His voice... He's a big guy. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick, the Admiral is due to give her address at any moment. Yes, proceed to the stateroom. Let's go.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
Oh.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Mervib. She seems so regal right now. I know her costume hasn't changed, but still.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride.
I have no connection to it whatsoever, but these people probably do.
700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Something fell behind me. Oh, okay, it's like posters. Alright. Sorry, and then I'm guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa, grown from humble fishing village to country contested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah!
Oh!
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say.
Okay, flag boy, I get it.
The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
Huh. Do they like pirates? I thought they didn't like pirates.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have problems with pirates.
All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano.
Oh, I just noticed her shoulder pads kind of look like those ships. That's pretty cool.
That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa.
Yeah.
I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage. Yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom.
Is Limsa Lominsa an allegory for America?
Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again?
This is actually really
Yet
inspiring.
there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishbuck
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go.
But kobolds are cute. That's what I understand in Dungeons and Dragons.
These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now,
Oh,
the
shit.
curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us.
Prepare.
One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port.
We are very close to her face.
We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest.
Oh, that's right.
Mark ye well.
They have a lot of
crew
adventures that
without
come
unity
here.
is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men.
Ooh, that's a nice threat.
To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom.
Yeah.
And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Okay, now I'm tossed up between Gridania and Limsa Lominsa.
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of tossed up between the two now.
Fancy meeting you again.
Again. Again. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsans' backyard. And that is to say not of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched in a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. Come on, Alize. Say something. Alright, well, I think I'm just gonna have to go with Gridania, like a home field advantage here. Ira, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies? Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back! Alright, I gotta go to the Minfilia now. There's Tataru, hello. How are you, Tataru?